Hey, what's up everyone? This is Alex from Star Wars Explained. One of the biggest surprises in Rogue One was the appearance of Darth Vader's fortress on Mustafar. And yes, even though the planet didn't have a written title card, its location was confirmed by the film's novelization. In this video, I'll be covering everything we know about that Eye of Sauron looking tower in the current Star Wars canon, as well as its inspiration from Star Wars Legends and behind the scenes origins. Unfortunately, we don't know much in canon outside of what we saw in the film. It's a large structure described as a dark monolith in the Rogue One visual guide. It's an obsidian tower where he lives at the Emperor's request or possibly demand. It's said to be built over an ancient castle full of dark secrets. He has an attendant named Vinay and at least 2 Imperial Royal Guards, although we don't know if they're there for his protection or to keep an eye on him. Vinay seems to be a less fancy version of Palpatine's advisors. Now those guys were admirers of the dark side that believed in the Force but had no power in it, like the dark side version of the Church of the Force. There actually is an advisor named Kryn Ballista Vani, and it's possible these guys are one and the same, but Pablo Hidalgo has suggested that Vinay is a new character. Either way, I imagine Vinay is a dark side believer, and the novelization at least paints him as a man eager to serve Vader. The monolith itself contains facilities that allow for maintenance and upgrades to Darth Vader's cybernetic systems, as well as a rejuvenation chamber where he can meditate and heal, which was one of the locations we actually saw in the movie. It's unclear if he needs to periodically visit the chamber or if he only goes in when he sustains new injuries. The Art of Rogue One book says the idea behind the rejuvenation chamber was that it was the only place he could truly be comfortable, so he might really just hang out there all the time. Some people have speculated that in this scene he might be recovering from damage he received in his duel with Ahsoka in Star Wars Rebels, but that happened almost 3 years before the events of Rogue One. Speaking of Rebels, we actually came very close to visiting the tower in the first season of the show. When Kanan was captured, Hera explained that he was taken where Jedi go to die, Mustafar. A further connection is made in Aftermath when Wedge mentions that Vader used to take Jedi to the planet for torture and execution. That's all we currently know about Vader's base, so now let's take a look at its counterpart in Star Wars Legends and see if we can't guess what else is going on there. Bast Castle was the name of Darth Vader's private fortress on an equally inhospitable world called Vajun. Instead of lava, this planet was soaked in acid rain. Otherwise, they were functionally very similar. It was Vader's home where he could heal, meditate, train against battle droids, and study the dark side in solitude. He also had a palace on Coruscant where he would meditate and heal. That's like all he seems to do in his free time. Get a hobby, man! The idea of Darth Vader's fortress has been tossed around for a long time. Ralph McQuarrie actually did some art for Vader's castle during the development of The Empire Strikes Back. The original plan for Return of the Jedi involved Luke dueling Vader on the central Imperial world of Had Abaddon, which was described as being covered in lava. That idea was abandoned, and the concept of Had Abaddon was eventually split into planets we now know as Coruscant and Mustafar. Even in The Force Awakens, Vader's castle was a considered location. So we've been building towards this base for a long time. Now that it's finally been seen, I'm positive it will return in the future. It would have been a perfect location to visit in the Darth Vader comic, but that ship has sailed. Maybe we'll see it in the main Star Wars comic or Star Wars Rebels. It's possible the Inquisitors could have also had facilities within the tower where they took orders from Vader. The Rogue One visual guide has provided just enough mystery surrounding it to make me think they have something specific planned, especially knowing that it was built over an ancient castle full of dark secrets. To me, that sounds like a Sith shrine or temple. We've been learning of planets that were sacred to the Jedi, like Jeddah, so it only makes sense that we would also learn about planets important to the Sith. Thanks to the Lando comic, we know Palpatine has acquired a number of Sith artifacts, so maybe some of them came from Mustafar. Assuming the monolith has some Sith affiliation, it would be the perfect place for Vader to grow in his power. Not only would it be strong in the dark side, but the planet is a great source of pain and anger for him. It's like a perfect storm of dark side energy for him to draw upon. That's it for me. I'd like to say a huge thank you to Mr. Sunday Movies for featuring me on his fantastic channel. If you want to see more Star Wars videos like this one, please check out my channel, Star Wars Explained. I release new videos every day answering common questions, speculating on the upcoming films, reviewing new content, and more. If it's related to Star Wars, there's a good chance I've covered it. Thanks so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.